All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let's talk about weight loss, right? I know I get asked about weight loss all the time, so let's talk about it, right? All the time. What do I do? What do I eat? How do I train? What type of workout should I do? Right? Now, any type of workout will help you lose weight, but you don't have to work out to lose weight. For a lot of you, that's really good news, right? Because a lot of you hate exercising, which is not good. You hate exercising, right? Because a lack of movement leads to a lack of life, right? Take a look at living cells under a microscope. All those living cells are moving constantly all the time. Dead cells don't move, right? Dead things don't move. So if you want to live a life of limited movement, you're going to experience limited life, limited vitality. So, you want more life, more quality of life? Get more movement, more quality of movement. But, moving on, it's not mandatory to lose weight. When you lose weight, you want to lose fat, okay? Now, I got some more good news for you. It is not mandatory to cut calories in order to lose weight, okay? That's some more good news for you. Now you don't need to worry about starving yourself. I tell people, eat to your heart's content. So what, I don't need to exercise or cut my calories? Sounds good, but I don't believe that. Well, then how do you lose weight? Here's where it gets interesting, right? What causes excessive weight gain? What causes obesity? Think about it. In order to fix something, you have to know what's causing the problem or what caused the problem, right? You have to reverse whatever caused it. So let's reverse, right? Let's recreate the crime scene. What's your diet look like? Do me a favor, answer a question for me right quick, right? What percentage of your diet is health foods? What percentage of your diet is helping you to lose weight? That's a question you gotta ask yourself, right? Because look, you don't just gain fat because you eat too much. It's really not that simple, which is why a calorie deficit does not work for everyone. It actually doesn't work for most people, right? Everyone knows, oh yeah, I'm gaining weight, so I should probably eat less. You think everybody knows that? And everybody's had to try that at some point in time, right? But that's not the golden ticket, right? Otherwise, everybody would be lean like me. Everybody would be at 7% body fat. Just cut calories. I don't cut calories. Why is my body fat so low? I don't cut calories. I never tell anybody to cut calories. How do I get people to cut their body fat in half without telling them to cut calories? You didn't gain weight. You didn't gain fat because you just eat too much in general. No, that's not how that works, right? That's not the problem. And the reason why I know that too is because not only does a calorie deficit not work for most people, right? But the most obese people that I've ever met in my life, a lot of them barely eat. Guess what? If you meet somebody who's obese and they're going to the gym, they're trying to lose weight. They are cutting their calories. They are doing the cardio and they're struggling, right? You didn't gain all of this weight from a lack of cardio. So increasing your cardio is not gonna help. It's not gonna help much. It'll help a little bit, but it's not gonna fix the problem. We don't just wanna lose a little bit of weight. We wanna reduce the problem that is giving us a weight issue or that gave us a weight issue. We wanna remove that problem. We wanna fix it. We don't want to just kind of work around it or put a band-aid on it, right? So, what causes body fat? Toxicity, right? Obesity is a sickness, people. It's an illness. That's what you got to look at it as. It is an illness, okay? It is a symbol. It is a sign. Something's not working properly in the body. You see, one thing that fat does very well is fat protects the organs from toxicity, right? It's a defense mechanism. When you eat toxic foods, you're drinking liquor and all of this type of stuff is toxic, right? That high fructose corn syrup, all of that, all that stuff that your body can't naturally process, all that stuff that is harmful to the organs, your body develops fat cells to shove that stuff into. So whatever doesn't immediately get filtered out of the body through the kidneys and all that type of stuff gets stashed in fat cells away from where it can do harm, right? That's your body's way of defense. Think about it. Why do people hold most of their body fat typically around their midsection, around their torso? Think about that. The beer gut, right? The fat all up on the back and everything, the man boobs, whatever, right? All of this right here around the torso. Why do you think it's so hard to get your abs to show? Look where that fat is. And now look at where all your organs are. Yeah, see? All that fat is around the organs because it's protecting the organs and the body. It's trying to make a little shield around it. The only difference is that you develop more fat. It's too much to be around the organs, too much. And now it's smothering the organs and creating unnecessary pressure, right? Things start to go sideways. It's good to have a shield, but it ain't good to have 6 of them. Right? Imagine getting into a sword fight and you got a whole bunch of shields on your body and one sword. You can't really fight back. You got all these shields and whatnot. You're getting in your own way. That's what your body does by creating all of this fat. It's called visceral fat, right? That visceral fat that connects to the organs. It's like literally attached to the organs, the hardest fat to get rid of, right? And then you have subcutaneous fat, which is the fat that's right beneath the skin. Those are the 2 types of fat that you retain in the body, right? Okay. So you got to reduce the toxicity. You got to reduce the inflammation. Your immune system is working really hard, okay? And it's making you not look so good and not feel so good. And it's making you put on weight. So what do we got to do, right? Well, if most of your diet is not health foods, we need to reverse that. You need to start eating health foods. Now, I'm not going to talk about what you should necessarily cut out in this video because look, I've cut this, cut. You're like, damn, well, what do I eat now? If most of your diet was just a bunch of toxic food that isn't health food at all, and I told you to just cut all that stuff out, you'd panic because you're like, oh, I'm gonna starve. What do I eat now? You'd panic. What do I eat? Because I just created a big void. You cut all this stuff out, you create a huge void. There's a massive gap of just emptiness. So what I want to focus on doing here, and this is a big diet mistake, people cut, and then they feel like crap because they didn't put anything in its place, right? Because they created a void for it first, and now they need to hurry up and fill this void. And then before they could really fill the void with the good stuff, they start binge eating all the bad stuff, right? Any of you who've binge eating, you know what I'm talking about. You go on this massive calorie deficit, you're tired, I feel like crap. I hate feeling like this, and you just start pounding cookies, right? You just start pounding donuts or something, and then you hate yourself the next day. And you go, forget about this diet stuff. Anybody who's ever failed at it, you know what I'm talking about. So we're not going to talk about what you should cut out. All right, we're going to talk about what you should add. What are foods that help your gut health? What are the foods that get you out of that toxic state? What are the foods that give your immune system a break? What are the foods that repair the body and improve overall health? So let's talk about that. All right, cool. Let's talk about dark leafy greens. Let's talk about fruit, right? Onions, peppers, garlic cloves. Let's talk about potatoes. Yeah, potatoes are good. Let's talk about mushrooms, right? Let's talk about bananas, grapefruit. Let's talk about oranges, apples, berries. Let's talk about this stuff, right? Because this is the stuff that's going to help you. Why? Right? Well, these foods, right, like asparagus, artichokes, kale, spinach, all this type of stuff, they're very nutrient-dense foods, number one. They have a lot of, they have the right amount of vitamins and minerals, right? Those antioxidants that protect your cells, right, and fortify your immune system. You want to eat foods that fortify your immune system, right? That aid and strengthen your immune system. Now, your immune system, most of your immune system, practically all of it, is in your gut, okay? in your digestive system. So what better way to improve your immune system by putting all the good stuff in your gut, right? You're directly feeding your immune system by eating health foods, right? So dark leafy greens that are loaded with vitamin C and A and B vitamins and magnesium and iron and zinc and all this good stuff, calcium, all this type of stuff, right? Protein, full amino acid profile, the whole nine, right? All that stuff is going to be feeding the body and feeding the immune system, protecting the cells of the body, okay? So we're talking about nutrients, adding nutrients, nutrient-dense foods to the body, right? That right there has an immediate effect on the body, because as soon as you start throwing foods like that into your digestive tract, let me tell you something, you get a massive turnaround quick, okay? So, what to add? Dark leafy greens, cabbage, right? Artichokes, leeks, spinach, kale, or anything green, broccoli, carrots, onions, red peppers, yellow peppers, green peppers, all that stuff, garlic cloves, all types of spices, cayenne pepper, ooh, all the good stuff, right? Natural sea salts, everything, get those good minerals in there. We'll start balancing out, aiding the body, right? We'll start eating for vitality. Fruits, right? Grapefruit, apples, oranges, bananas. Get some avocado in there, right? Raspberries, blueberries, blackberries, all this good stuff. I hope you're writing this down too, because I'm just naming, just rattling off stuff. This is important stuff, right? You want to go to the produce section. The next time you're in the grocery store, go to the produce section, okay? Get all these nutrient-dense foods, fruits, apples, all this fruits, vegetables, all of that stuff, right? The juicy stuff, good stuff. It's not very calorie-dense foods, but it's nutrient-dense. So we're talking major bang for your buck. If you can get foods like that and make those foods most of your diet, man, you will turn your weight loss, you will turn your weight problem around like that, because you're putting life into the body. Now, we know these foods are nutrient dense, but there's another component to these foods that greatly benefit your gut, right? Your digestive health. Now, what do human beings need, right? Now, of course, human beings, you need vitamin C in your diet. You need it. Right? Because your gut, unlike carnivores, your gut doesn't create vitamin C, right? So the wolves and the lions and the tigers, they don't need to go, oh, I gotta get my vitamin C. They don't need to, they're carnivores. Also, on the other hand, we need these things in our diet, right? So we gotta get these foods in our diet, yes, but what do we also need? Fiber, right? How many of you know about fiber? I've made a couple videos about it. Fiber, right? Soluble fiber and insoluble fiber. What does fiber do? Well, just to touch on it right quick. Fiber improves digestion, regulates blood sugar levels, regulates cholesterol levels, right? Soluble fiber keeps food in the stomach long enough for it to go through a full digestive process, right? Insoluble fiber, what does it do? It helps flush out debris from the digestive tract, right? From the intestines, like little brooms, just pushing everything out, right? Thickening your bowels, right? I'm probably thickening is not the good word, but just adding more bulk to your feces to make it easier to pass everything, right? Ladies and gentlemen, when you're sitting on the toilet, you should be pushing out 12 inches a day. Right? I'm not gonna tell you need to go 2, 3, 4 times a day, whatever the case is. You just gotta be pushing out that 12 inches, right? So, I'm not trying to be gross or nothing, but come on, we're adults, right? Let's talk about it. So we need this fiber for this. Now, a big problem, especially in the Western diet, most people are obese, and one thing they have in common is they always lack fiber in their diet, all the time. Always lack fiber in their diet. And their diet is always, it's not nutrient dense, right? Believe it or not, a food like eggs, not very nutrient dense. Right? Chicken breast, not very nutrient dense. Steak, not very nutrient dense. Not compared to the produce section. Nowhere near the produce section, ain't touching it. Calorically dense, but not really nutrient dense. There's a difference. You don't want to just be eating just calorically dense foods. You want to be eating nutrient dense foods. You got to start giving your digestive tract a break. You throw this fiber in there, and that fiber, right, what it's going to do, it's going to regulate all the body's processes. Another thing the fiber does is it regulates your appetite. Now, when you think about binge eating, when you binge eat something, look at the foods you'd binge eat and then look at how much fiber is actually in those foods. It's very difficult to binge eat high fiber foods. Also, health foods are not addictive. Right? Think about the foods we get addicted to. Think about the foods that we have an unhealthy relationship with. They're not high in fiber. They're not whole foods. Right? They're high in things like saturated fat, sugars, artificial sweeteners, things like that, right? They've got sugar and cheese and all of this type of stuff in them, right? Salt, tons of salt, right? Sodium chloride. They're not natural whole foods. You're not finding these foods in the produce section, right? These aren't whole grain foods. These aren't legumes. You see what I'm saying? So that's one thing you want to be aware of, right? The fiber regulates your appetite, which is very important. And this is why you don't need to calorie count. You just eat until you're full. The fiber does its job. Once you've eaten enough, you will stop because the fiber will stop you. That's the beauty of it, right? So I'm going to wrap it up there. All right? So the takeaway is this. In order to successfully lose weight, majority of your diet, if not your whole entire diet completely, has to be comprised of health foods, nutrient-dense foods, high in fiber. You do that, now you're on your way. Don't worry about subtraction, worry about addition, right? Because what we're doing is we're subtracting, we're eliminating by process of addition. We're not making a void and then panicking to try to fill it, right? We're bringing some good stuff in, and as we bring in an abundance of the good stuff, naturally we start forcing out the bad stuff. We start replacing it. Because you can only eat but so much in a day. So you do that, you're good. All right? So addition and prioritize. Prioritize nutrient-dense foods, high in fiber, whole foods. Prioritize them. Let them be the first foods you eat during the day. All the other junk can wait till the end of the day. Ladies and gentlemen, that is my time. I hope this has helped you.